final proof is. Any more questions? Pronunciation? Dismantle, agreement, renamed, aimed, you have to finish those words to put it in the past tense. Aimed, remained. Assessment, August 21st, gas attack. Left hundreds dead.
Teacher's view of assessment.
What?
Assessment. I don't know.
Assessment. Yeah, to have a certain view of an idea about what they did. They took all the different pieces of evidence and put them together and said, oh, it looks, and this is the United States, oh, the Assad regime, we've looked at everything. Our view is, our look at all the information tells us the Assad regime did it. That's the United States assessment of all the evidence. The view of all the evidence tells us the United States did it. Syria did it. But the Russians say, oh no, our assessment, our view, the Russians say, our view is that the rebels did it. Yeah. So they're at loggerheads. Syria, Assad regime, rebels. Boom, boom, boom. A view, an assessment.
Thank you, teacher.
Oh, you're taking off?
Sure.
Okay. There goes Mr. Singh.
Yeah. See you on Monday.
See you Monday. No rain.
Maybe.
Oh, I hope
I'm
not.
not sure.
I'm not sure either. Anyway, there you have it. Assessment, view of. You look at the picture that you're presented, all the information about what happened, and you say, okay, I see. And the United States says, see, Assad did it, his regime. And the Russians come up and they look at the same picture. No, Assad didn't do it. It was the rebels did it. Different assessment. They look at it, same picture, different assessment. Different view of the evidence.
Different opinion.
Yeah. Based on the facts that they see, the picture that they see. Based on it, they say, the United States says Assad did it. And the Russians come up and look at the same picture and say, oh, no, the rebels did it. So there has to be a final decision, a final assessment that is one side is right or the other side is right. Which one? We have to continue to look. Any other questions?
Yes.
Teacher.
Sorry. I know that, teacher, I knew that Syria accepted this agreement to destroy the chemical weapon by mid-2014. But now it's arguing, but now the US side and Russia side, they are arguing about what?
About who was responsible for the August 21st attack. They agree that Syria has to get rid of the weapons. The Syrian government has to get rid of the chemical weapons, which they have. Everybody knows that. But what they don't agree on is that on August 21st of 2013, about 1 month ago, who put the chemical weapons to kill the people? Who attacked the chemical weapons? Was it the Syrian government or was it the rebel army? That is where they disagree. Oh, they say that Syria has to get rid of the chemical weapons.
Yeah.
But who was responsible for the August 21st attack on the suburb of Damascus, Ghouta?
Just to find out that
they're not denying, everybody agrees that Syria has to get rid of the chemical weapons by mid-2014, no question, we agree.
Yes.
But where we don't agree is who was responsible for the gas attack of August 21st that killed hundreds of men, women, and children. That is where they don't agree.
Why U.S. and Russia pick this issue? Because who respond is what is important about who respond of this gas attack?
Are you serious? Of course it's important who did it. What do you mean? Nobody really cares who did it?
It had happened last year, last month.
So who cares?
And Assad accept that disagreement, and why? It's just curious to me. Why U.S. and Russia? Why to come to help?
Because,
Think about this issue.
well, very simply, because Russia supports Assad. The United States opposes Assad. So, who was responsible? The Americans, the United States says Assad's regime. Whoa, says Russia, whoa, that's our guy. That's our go-to guy. He's not responsible. It's the rebels that were responsible. So nobody's arguing that there were chemical weapons. No question about that. The question is who fired off the chemical weapons. Russia says it couldn't have been our man, Assad. He's our friend. He's our, he would never do that. And then the United States says, wait a minute, he would do that. He's just that type of guy. He put the weapons out there, men, women, and children, he doesn't care. So they're opposed. One says Assad, the other says not Assad. So there's a big debate about that. There's no debate about there are chemical weapons in Syria. No question. The question is, who set them off to kill the men, women, and children by the hundreds on the 21st of August?
It looks like Russia support Assad and U.S. support rebel.
Well, pretty much that's the case. Russia supports Assad. The United States supports the rebels. So, who fired the chemical weapons? Who fired the gas? Russia says it wasn't Assad. And the United States says, yes it was. It wasn't the rebels. It had to be Assad. That's where the argument is. That's where the loggerheads are. Everybody agrees, yeah, they got to get rid of them by 2014, June. Got to go. But who fired them on August 21st? That's the question. That still has to be answered so that no longer are the U.S. and Russia at loggerheads. Pretty hard to do. Any other questions? Part 2 coming up. Arsenal destroyed, dismantled, taken apart.
Teacher,
Yeah.
why Russia support Syria?
What?
Why? Why does Russia support Syria?
Good question.
I don't know.
I wouldn't support him, but they do. But they have supported him for years and years and years.
Because Russia sells weapons to Syria, not
Yeah, there's a lot of people that said, who made the weapons that Syria has? The Russians.
Russia, I think.
That's what they say, could be. But Syria and Russia have been friends for many years.
Teacher, why you say could be, you don't say can be.
I said could be because there's the possibility that maybe they didn't. I don't know who made the weapons.
Because it's not sure, right?
It's possible
It's possible.
that Russia made the weapons. Maybe there's some other, if you
Possible.
investigate, you find, whoop, the Syrians made the weapons after all. Maybe, but I would think that it's possible that the Russians made it.
Yes.
Okay.
ที่เชื่อที่น่าเปลี่ยนเรื่องนะเขียนเรื่องที่เขียนจะเชื่อเปลี่ยนนะมันจะเปลี่ยนเป็นที่เชื่อ
วันนี้วันที่เท่าไหร่วะ20
เอ็มจะสิ่งเข้ามาที่เชื่อไปเอาที่มา
This is the answer to the question. The question of the agreement that yes, they have to destroy the chemical weapons. The disagreement, the loggerhead, is who was responsible for the August 21st attack that killed hundreds of Syrian people. The agreement is we have to get rid of the chemical weapons in Syria, no question. The disagreement is who committed the attack on August 21st. Here's the answer, what both sides say. U.S. President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack. That's the August 21st attack. The attack. But Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame. That the rebels could be to blame. President Barack Obama said it is inconceivable that anyone other than the Saddam regime, the Syrian regime, could have done this. But Russia says, well, no, we've always suspected the rebels. U.S. President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable. Don't forget the V, inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack. What attack? The August 21st attack with the weapons, the chemical weapons. But Russia, Russia says, hold the phone. Hold the phone? Wait a minute. Hold the phone. But Russia defiantly, we're right, they're wrong. Defiantly kept to its past belief, suspicions. I think I know who did it. I think I know who did it, they're saying. It was the rebels. They're the ones to blame, not the Syrian regime. The rebels, they did it. U.S. President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack. But Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels were to blame. Go ahead.
U.S. President Obama,
Barack.
Barack Obama said it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack, but Russia differently kept to its past suspicion that the rebel could be to Burma.
To blame. Suspicions that the rebels. Remember, you have to finish the word. U.S. President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack. But Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame. Go ahead.
U.S.
President.
President. Barack Obama said this was anyone other than the Syria regime would have carried out the attack, but Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame.
Go ahead.
U.S. President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable that any other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack, but Russia defiantly kept to the path its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame.
Right. Kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame. Go ahead, Mr. Rick.
President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack, but Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicion that the
Rebels
could be to blame.
Aim. It's like blame, almost like lame. Blame. U.S. President Barack Obama, the current President of the United States, Barack Obama, said it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack. But Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be, they're not saying they are to, they're saying they could be to blame. Whoa, big difference. Are or could be. Did or maybe did. Ooh, big difference. Go ahead.
U.S. President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack, but Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame.
Yeah, exactly. Carried out the attack, but Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame. Very good. Go ahead.
U.S. President Barack Obama says it was inconceivable that anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack, but Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicion that the rebels could be to blame.
To blame. Oh, no, sir. Or blame.
Sorry.
Oh.
I think that
You think the period was an S? No, it was a period. To blame. Blame. To blame. Okay, go ahead.
U.S. President Barack Obama said it was inconceivable.
Right. Inconceivable.
That anyone other than the Syrian regime could have carried out the attack, but Russia defiantly kept to its past suspicions that the rebels could be to blame.
That the rebels could be to blame. That the rebels could
Blame.
be to blame. Go ahead.